Once you dismiss a patient, you have to make sure in your system that they are flagged as a collections patient in your software. Change their name to all caps, add 2 stars to the front of their name, change their payment types, whatever you can do in your system to make sure that they stand out. What I want to happen is if anyone were to click on their name, they would be aware that that person is a collections patient and we don't want to schedule appointments. So a new employee who hasn't been told about this actually very commonly is going to mistakenly schedule the patient again. And that's always a hassle. It's happened in my offices. It's happened, to me. I hope it doesn't happen to you. Maybe there's an alert that you could put on their account, some notification that says, do not schedule, owes a lot of money, whatever it is, or talk to Teresa. That could be another thing. Ensure that something is set up so the patient doesn't end up back in your system because you've dismissed them from your system. So now here comes the uncomfortable part. What if this patient calls you, or even worse, you see them out in the wild? Ugh. This happened to me once. I was in a restaurant and I saw someone I had sent to collections and I had forgotten all about it. It'd been like 2 years and I couldn't understand why she was being so mean and just angry face with me, right? And then it hit me. And I was just trying to melt back into my seat and slip out the back door when I remembered, because I'm out trying to have a good time. And here she is shooting daggers at me from across the room. It happens. Some of us live in small towns and, frequently see patients, not in a small town, but managed to see her. It's not ideal that I ran into her, but it's also truly not my problem because she didn't pay her bill. And that's something she's going to have to deal with, especially when she's applying for loans or mortgages. And I'm not sitting here in shame that I didn't pay my bill, right? She is. Old school admin people, actually like myself, always have stories about patients who finally paid their bill because they needed to buy a house. Now, back in the day, you don't notice that anymore because there's been changes in the collections laws, like I said, and there's not really a big hit on your credit score. But back in the day when a patient was applying for a house or a loan, they would run a credit check. And if I had sent them to collections, they would have to come and pay their bill in order to qualify for the home loan. So it was very common. The patients would come in, or even if they moved across the country, they would say, I think I owe you some money. I really need this house loan. I would say, and I wouldn't say anything snarky because it's not, who cares really, but I was just so happy to get paid. But definitely that used to happen a lot more. Nowadays, you don't have that burden to clear the credit score. That's actually kind of sad because I think a lot of people who have medical debt understand that. You want to hear the rest of it. Follow the link for the full episode.